Shalawam, Israel. Last episode of The Roar, we went over what the new covenant is prophesied to be and how no one has fulfilled that yet, including this New Testament figure. Okay, JC, he's not the one to fulfill it, and the Most High has not made it happen yet. Those 4 verses that we read, Yirmeyahu, chapter 31, verse 31, verse 32, verse 33, and verse 34, none of them has unfolded yet, which means that we must still be under the so-called Old Covenant. And we need to stop saying Old Covenant because there's nothing old about it if we're still in it, if we're still under the same covenant as our forefathers. Therefore, as we read Yirmeyahu chapter 31, verse 31 to 34, we see that in both of the covenants, the current covenant that we're under right now, the same one as our forefathers, and the new covenant to come that the Most High has prophesied would come later, that the law is not done away with in either of these, but instead it's held at an even greater significance to the point where it will be written on our very hearts. Okay? So if the law is not done away with, and we are still under the same exact covenant of our forefathers, then why aren't we seeing people sacrifice animals, Well, I have exciting news because his word shows us. Let's go to Hosea chapter 3, verses 4 through 5. For the children of Israel shall dwell many days without king or prince, without sacrifice or pillar, without ephod or household gods. Afterward, the children of Israel shall return and seek the Most High their Elohim and David their king, and they shall come in fear to the Most High and to his goodness in the latter days. Now, we are in the middle of this prophecy. We are not in the middle of the new covenant prophecy in Yirmeyahu, but it's clear that right now we have not had a king or a prince, a sacrifice or a pillar, ephod or household gods, right? So, frankly, if we are, just think, hypothetically speaking, I have my views, but just for the sake of the argument, let's say we are in fact in idolatry right now, okay? Then that means because we're holding this New Testament figure up to the Most High's level, and that's idolatry because there's no one beside him. So say if this is idolatry, then that means we are kind of far away from this new covenant being fulfilled because we aren't even following the commandments, the first one, that are written down on the pages right in front of us in the Hebrew Bible. So I think we kind of have some time before all of these laws, statutes, and commandments are written on our very hearts. And I think that's important to think about when you're thinking about prophecies. I'm not saying I know the exact time when this prophecy will be fulfilled. Nah, I'm just a 22-year-old servant of the Most High, and it's clear that Hosea 3:4 is what we're going through right now. Considering that verse 5 says that in the latter days that this would happen, the 5th verse, then that means we must be in the 4th. It just makes sense. So let's reread Hosea. Okay, you see that verse 4 applies to us right now. For the children of Israel shall dwell many days without king or prince. Do we have a king or a prince right now? Okay, let's move on. Without sacrifice or pillar. That means we would need the Levites to be doing this, right? But right now, everybody is saying that they're from the tribe of Judah, or everybody is saying that they're from this tribe or that tribe, and the Haitians are Levites. How do we even know this? DNA, only shows 0.0001% of our ancestors anyway, from one person. Go look up Little Moray's video on DNA. He breaks it down better than I could. Just know that I am just kind of unconvinced that we know which tribe we're from. And I don't even know, frankly, if he would even tell us all of those details right now. If we are still in captivity, we're still in punishment because we're not even worshiping him with our whole heart. collectively as a nation. So I just don't understand where people are getting this. Oh yeah, I'm from the tribe of this, this, and this, but nobody wants to be the tribe of Dan, because you already know what the deal with Dan is. Dirty Dan. Okay, moving on. So we don't have a sacrifice or pillar. You don't see ninjas out here sacrificing animals. And the Most High already told us that human sacrifice is a big no-no when it comes to ransoming someone's life. He says we can't do that. So what's the sacrifice? What is it? We don't have an ephod or household gods. And household gods is the Hebrew word teraphim. This is a plural intensive noun in Hebrew, meaning that even if these household gods or teraphim is a singular object, it is still being referred to into the plural form because of its greatness rather than plurality. Just like the word Elohim. Please just remember that. Just tuck that in your back pocket, because that's going to come up in a later video about this grammatical Hebraic rule. Okay. So moving on. So we can see that we don't have any of these things, which he said we wouldn't have for many days. Okay. So he said we would, then afterward, verse 5, afterward. So after we don't have any of these things, the children of Israel shall return and seek the Most High, their Elohim. So we're going to be seeking the Most High, the one who brought us out of Mizraim. We're not going to be seeking a New Testament Savior, okay? And David, their king. David, their king. David, their king. Not JC. What? I know, it hit me too. But we're going to discuss all of this in upcoming episodes because it's a lot. And they shall come in fear to the Most High. Again, he's talking about himself. We're going to be fearing our Elohim, the one who brought us out of Mizraim, out of slavery, just like all the other times, and to his goodness in the latter days. The latter days, things that have not come to pass. So this has not happened yet, okay? My question is, has the children of Israel returned and sought the Most High, their Elohim? No, because they are seeking whom the New Testament calls his son, even though Israel is his firstborn son. Exodus chapter 4:22. Has the Most High redeemed David's soul from Sheol yet, like he promised? No. And we will fear the Most High and his goodness in the latter days. The latter days, the latter days. So this prophecy is so important, my friends, my family. This is an unfulfilled prophecy. So since we don't have a king, prince, or ephod, or pillar to do sacrifices, because we know we're not going to be doing them right now, these animal sacrifices, should I say, and we're not supposed to have human sacrifices. Devarim 24:16, Ezekiel chapter 18 verse 20, and Psalm chapter 49 verse 7 through 9. In parentheses, just so you know. What do we do then? Well, let's just read. I'm just going to read maybe 4 verses because it's actually fairly simple. You know, the Most High is very clear and I dig it. Okay. Proverbs 16:6, by steadfast love and faithfulness, iniquity is atoned for, and by the fear of the Most High, one turns away from evil. Pretty self-explanatory, eh? Hosea 6:6, for I, and this is the Most High speaking, for I desire steadfast love. Proverbs 16:6 just said that too. Steadfast love, other versions, same mercy. For I desire steadfast love and not sacrifice, the knowledge of Elohim, rather than burnt offerings. Read the books of Solomon. Read Proverbs. Read Ecclesiastes. Go and just indoctrinate yourself with the knowledge of Elohim, rather than indoctrinating yourself with the sayings of man. Go and learn for yourself. That's the issue. I was talking to somebody yesterday. We're talking about this. One of the biggest issues in Israel is that everybody is either trying to teach with no knowledge of Elohim, and they're just regurgitating information and sound bites from everyone else, Or they aren't even studying for themselves and they're just watching YouTube videos. Listen, YouTube is not a bad thing. However, when it becomes your primary source of information, when it comes your primary source of knowledge, then that's not the knowledge of Elohim if you're not constantly checking it. It's dangerous, guys. We gotta stay on track. I hid away for many months trying to be uninfluenced by YouTube, by Instagram, by Facebook, because I wanted the Most High to tell me what he wanted me to know. And that's why I'm making all these videos. I didn't get any of this stuff from man. So that's why I'm asking you to go check what I'm saying with the Most High and what he says in his Tanakh, the words that he gave to our forefathers. Okay? Okay, Yirmeyahu chapter 17 verse 5. Thus says the Most High, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, those whose heart turns away from the Most High. So again, we have to trust the Most High with all we have. And finally, I love this verse, and you'll hear me keep saying it because this is for real important. 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by my name humble themselves, and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and heal their land. You see, people, the Most High's sacrifice right now that he expects from us is a broken spirit and a contrite heart. In Psalm 51, just read the whole psalm, please. It's so clear of how the Most High is in this intimate relationship with Israel. And he's in David, his king, our king, is talking with the Most High. He's talking to him. He's crying out, please, like, I messed up. I shouldn't have been doing this and this. I shouldn't have been snatching someone else's girl up like this. Like, that was my homie. Then I put him in the front line of war and he got all killed up and stuff. And I took his girl because she was bathing and I just couldn't help myself. Please forgive me. Wash me away from my iniquities. Cleanse my unrighteousness. He's crying out. He's having a broken spirit and a contrite heart. That's how we should be right now. If we're not going out and getting animals and sacrificing them, and we know that the Most High does not condone human sacrifice for sins, then we must have a pure spirit, a pure heart, a humble spirit with the Most High. We have the law. He gave it to us. It was very clear to us what he wanted us to do. But because we are so rebellious and we don't listen to him, we go and serve the other nations' gods that are around us, like we're doing right now in this captivity. And when we are serving other gods and we aren't constantly fearing the Most High, and we're fearing all these other gods, fearing this and fearing that, then that's when we are transgressing his law, because we're not supposed to have anyone beside him. We're not supposed to be going against his covenant that he gave to our forefathers. It's so precious. So lo and behold, the law is not done away with. Lo and behold, the Most High is who we need for us to seek and to become a more united nation under him. So let's be his chosen people. Let's be righteous. Let's be humble. And let's continue to wake our brothers and sisters up for the second time. Because there's a second awakening happening, and some of you don't even know it because you're so distracted by everything else. But I beg of you, please just be humble and just keep your eyes on the Most High, okay? Because something big is about to happen, and you got to pick a side. All right, shalom. I love you. Shalawam. Peace. Baruch. Blessings. Let's go. Love you.